Hi, my name is Mark Biernat. I'm a monetary economist, and in this video, I want to talk about Russia's big economic bluff, their cartoon-like understanding of economics. George Costanza, when asked by Jerry Seinfeld, how do you beat the lie detector test? He said, Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it. And that is what I want to talk about today in terms of economics. I'm not sure if Moscow really believes they're achieving something by going to their allies, North Korea, China, and India. They're making rounds almost in a very public, and also Hungary, of course, and some minor. They don't meet with the small fry. They'd never fly to Venezuela or have Venezuela. No, they just want to keep on pumping meetings with North Korea, China, and India. Why? Because they feel everybody watching this in the West gets all scared. Oh no, they're making alliances. They're going to import all these technical goods, shake hands, embrace each other for cheap oil. That is not how economics works. Milton Friedman, and I'm not going to recant the story, but I mention it often, explains how to make a pencil. It could take 100,000, maybe 1 million people. The complexities of creating anything in an international exchange world. Now, we're not talking about pencils. We might be talking about complex technological components for machinery and computers that need to be fitted into the Russian model of whatever they're using. You just can't shake hands and then, okay, the next month these things start flowing into Russia. Let me explain. My father, much of his life, worked for United Technologies. He was a top dog. I would say one of the top 3 guys there, which is now Raytheon. But at the time, it was Carrier, it was Otis, but mostly it was Pratt & Whitney, dependable engines for over 75 years in East Hartford, Connecticut. They manufactured to create something of value that complex. Your production process, your capital formation, lengthening, if you want to talk in the Austrian language, is beyond a pencil ad infinitum. You can't believe how many engineers must stress test this, how they have to get the highest quality of steel. You just can't shake hands with Modi and embrace everlasting love and expect these things to flow. I mean, is India, how are the Indian people? Is there starvation in India? I mean, are they doing that great? Every time I try to do business with India, and one of my friends went there, he actually speaks Russian. He said he'll never go back there again. It's total chaos. Is that what he's hitching? I wouldn't hitch my wagon to that star if I was Moscow. Why are they doing it? They're either doing it to bluff the West and scare the West and create this image, or they're doing it because they believe the lie that this is the way economics works. But economics does not work like that. In a free market, it's extremely complex. Think about companies that deliver your packages, how they can get in here the next day from you just clicking. How complex is that? It's not something you can just shake hands with a developing country like North Korea. I think they have like 8,000 calories a day the average person lives on, or not really lives on. So the story is Moscow's making rounds again to create high profile, to scare the West, to bluff. But this will not result in any tangible long-term impact. NATO has said they're pretty much out of men and machine and tools, and they don't have a tool part industry. They certainly don't make high-quality steel. They're out of these things, and you just can't import it. You can import low-quality items, but that's not what they need. So think about the bluff, and don't get scared about Moscow's bluff. I mean, India, don't they believe in karma? Aren't they creating bad karma for themselves? Don't they believe if you do something bad, and we know they're doing something bad, you'll reincarnate into a lower life form like an insect? I mean, doesn't Russia specialize in insecticides and pesticides and fertilizers with all their chemicals? So they'll reincarnate maybe Moody into an insect, and then he'll be in Russia, and then some Russian guy will spray him with pesticides. Okay? So we don't know. But, I mean, that's bad. That's his big stuff they're creating and setting down and laying down for their country. If I was an Indian, I would be very disturbed at that. And what do I think America should do? They should, if they want to do business with the bad guys, they should just stop the visas from India and stop trade, stop all that nonsense, and do it with friendly people, good people. Why don't they start it with Poland or Ukraine? Look at all the allies, all of Scandinavia, all of the Baltics are strong allies of freedom and democracy. So if you want to understand economics, maybe consider the Milton Friedman pencil explanation and all the complexities that go into it. And you should not be afraid. Yield not to intimidation. This is just a playbook from a dictator who's going to make the rounds with the other dictators, going high profile, and then the media shows it. And anybody that falls for that, because the complexities of the logistics and the capitalist system cannot be described. By the way, speaking of capitalism, I'm doing these videos kind of on Spartan conditions. I left all my equipment back home because I got a $149 flight to Europe. If you're curious how to get a $149 flight to Europe, you might want to put it in the comments. I try to read most of the comments. So I have to wedge my equipment between some tree. I've got a birch forest here. I had a chamomile field I wanted to film in, and I had a cross nettle, which, my legs are all stinging now. But that's just a side point. But that's capitalism. $149 flight to Europe. My name is Mark Bernot. I'm a monetary economist. Ukraine will prevail. Don't believe the bluffs coming out of Russia, because all they are is bluff and hot air, and they're about to implode upon themselves like a balloon that's going to be popped. Have a great day. Thank you very much.